This is an absolute robbery as a shocking new report has dropped, revealing some wild details as it pertains to Rob Pelinka's plans surrounding a center. We're going to break down the report and discuss what it means going forward as Pelinka prepares for something big. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. But before we get into it, if you're a part of the 89% who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. We're on the road to our big goal of 20,000 subscribers. If you want to help us towards that goal, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And thank you guys again for your continued support. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a step back today because some new articles, reports, rumors have dropped surrounding the Lakers' plans as it pertains to a trade, specifically regarding their center. Because at the moment, again, they've been rocking Jackson Hayes. They have Alex Len. And for this season, it seems like, assuming they convert, like I discussed in the video earlier today, assuming they convert Jordan Goodwin to a standard contract and they waive, whether it be Cam Reddish, Shake Milton, whoever ends up being, they're stuck with the current center core. But the big question is going forward, who they can rock, and Jalen Duren is a guy names keeps getting brought up. Lakers should go all in for rising Pistons center. Potential trade scenario explained. The Lakers need front court reinforcements and should go all in to acquire one of the best young centers in the NBA who's currently showing great potential with the Detroit Pistons. And we've discussed Jalen Duren before, and there's a reason for it. We discussed him back at the trade deadline. We've been discussing him since then. There's been a lot of rumblings surrounding JD. And it's a very interesting one. You see this here. The Lakers have reshaped the roster into a true contender by pairing Luka, LeBron, but one glaring weakness remains the center position. And we know, of course, they failed to acquire Mark Williams. They then settled for Alex Len. Now Alex Len isn't even playing. He's getting a lot of DNPs. So there's a lot of different things going on there. But if they want to maximize their title window, they must invest all available assets into acquiring Jalen Duren, a young and dominant big man, could be their long-term answer in the paint. He's been a bright spot in the strong season for the Pistons, averaging a near double-double. This one's very interesting. As the season continues to go on, as we start to think about what the Lakers' plan is going to be in the offseason for a trade, we've been hearing about, Nick Claxton. We've been hearing about Miles Turner and a sign and trade, all these different things. Jalen Duren's name is one that keeps getting brought up because he was, if you remember, and I'll show you a report later in the video, he was one of the players the Lakers were targeting at the trade deadline before they pulled the trigger on Mark Williams. Now, if they would have been able to get Jalen Duren at the deadline, it would have been fantastic. But the problem is the Pistons are starting to see a little bit of success under JB Bickerstaff, and he has really been elevating that team. But it becomes very interesting. He is just 21 years old and has all the tools to be a franchise cornerstone. We're going to dive into a mock trade in a minute here. But you see here, the Lakers have already expressed interest in Duren, but the Pistons have been reluctant to move him without a significant return. However, while Detroit still is deep in the rebuilding mode, the right offer could force them to reconsider. And it's very interesting. Now would be the time. Now, obviously, the Lakers at this juncture, they can't make a trade for this season, so hopefully they still make a competitive run and they'll make the playoffs and hopefully make a championship run. Regardless of that, the big question is going to be for months going forward, who the Lakers are going to get the center position? Because Jackson Hayes, albeit very good, has great chemistry with Luka right now, is really better suited as a backup center. And right now, you look at the Lakers' current structure, they need to get a starting caliber center to pair with Luka going forward, and even LeBron over the next year or two. So what that means is, if you can go out and get a guy like Jalen Duren, who A, is a fantastic player, and B, would really fit this team's timeline, you got to go ahead and pull the trigger. And that's why so many different reports and rumors have started to circulate surrounding JD and Jalen Duren. Now, we can go into a trade a little bit here. Now, this one was proposed by this article, and it is very interesting. Now, I am going to preface this by saying, and let me know down below if you would do this deal. This one seems a little bit steep to me. Now, again, the problem is, any of these packages are going to be steep simply because of the reason that the Detroit Pistons, A, are having a good season. They might even make the playoffs this year. And B, he's only 21. So for the Pistons to give up their former first-round pick, they will need to get multiple assets back in order, in exchange for a first-round pick. So you can see this here. Again, Lakers received Jalen Duren. The Pistons received Dalton, Knecht, Hachimura, a 2031 first, a 2032 second, and a 2028 first-round pick swap. So this is a lot. You're giving up Dalton, Knecht, who you gave up in the Mark Williams trade, and it's very similar, actually, in a lot of ways to the Mark Williams trade. So Knecht, Rui, a first, and a swap. Basically the same structure, although it's a 2028 swap instead of a 2030 swap, like the Mark Williams trade. However, you're also giving up Rui Hachimura in this deal. Now, in the deal for Mark Williams, you gave up Cam Reddish. Would you do this deal? The question is, Rui Hachimura has been invaluable to this team. He has fit alongside Luka perfectly, has turned into a great player. I think they're going to want to keep Rui Hachimura. But if you can do a deal surrounding Jalen Duren that involves Dalton, Knecht, a first-round pick, and even one more swap, so you can say the exact same package that the Lakers offered Mark Williams for him, you can make a deal surrounding Jalen Duren. I think Jalen Duren would probably be a better fit. He's much better defensively. He is younger by 4 years, and he could really propel the Lakers team into a very competitive one. And if you're already going to have to give up a lot of assets for a guy like Nick Claxton, I'd rather give up some more assets for a guy like Jalen Duren, especially given the fact that Jalen Duren at this point, like if he becomes available, would be the best available option. Now, again, we know the Lakers tried to trade for Jalen Duren before landing Mark Williams. And before pulling off a big move for Williams, Pelinka made several calls around the league about the athletic big man with rim protecting abilities. League sources say Robert Williams, Miles Turner, Jericho Sims, were on the roster for big men. And of course, their asking prices were too steep. They also inquired about Jakob Poeltl and Jalen Duren. And Duren's a beast. If you're unfamiliar with this game, this season he's averaging 11 points, a block a game, and 10 rebounds. He is a double-double machine. Obviously had a bit of a better year last year. Tailed off a little bit, but that's also because the Pistons are better now. They're better than what they were. Playing alongside Cade. If you put Luka Doncic alongside Jalen Duren, we're seeing Jackson Hayes average 7-8 points a game simply off lobs. If you get the rebounding prowess of Jalen Duren, it solves your rebounding problem. It solves some of your defensive problems. You get a big body out there. You can go out and be absolutely dominant. Now, he averages 3 fouls a game, a little bit, gets into foul trouble at times, but man, oh man, would he be such a perfect fit for this team at 21 years old. Now, the problem is, again, the only way the Pistons do a deal about this is if they get a huge package back. Now, I think Dalton, Knecht, a first and a swap would be a pretty big package, especially considering the fact that, the Pistons would get a shooter to pair alongside Cade. You get a 2031 unprotected first, let's say a 2030 pick swap, and even throw in the second round pick in there. You'd have to make salaries work and things like that. I don't know if the Lakers give up Rui Hachimura, but let me know down below if you would do this trade specifically involving Rui. That one's tougher to swallow. I love the package framework of a Jalen Duren for Dalton Knecht deal. Makes sense for the Lakers a lot more, especially if you're giving up assets. And then if you're the Pistons, you're positioning yourself into having 2 more first-round picks, really 1 first-round pick and a pick swap that you can use in order to get another star to pair with Cade Cunningham. And then you can try to find a replacement for Jalen Duren elsewhere, and they have some backup centers there that are decent. So it is very interesting. It would help the Lakers build a super team, absolutely. A double-double machine. Offensively, you can see there in the third paragraph, he thrives at the lob threat and offensive rebounder, creating easy second chance points. He is fantastic. And he fits similar molds to Jackson Hayes, just a much better version and a much stronger version as well. So let me know down below what your thoughts are. There's been links in there in the past. Articles are trying to fly about it, so I wanted to cover it today. And one final thing before I wrap up is looking at the schedule ahead. Man, oh man, are they in an interesting schedule here for the LA Lakers. Now, again, they're coming off a game against Dallas, Minnesota. You play the Clippers tonight, the second night of back-to-back, and then you play them again on Sunday, followed by New Orleans, New York, Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Denver. It is a gauntlet, and we're hoping to get some injury updates in the positive front surrounding Rui Hachimura, LeBron, and Luka. It might be a skeleton crew tonight with, Austin Reaves and Jordan Goodwin manning the show. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest news, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let me know down below, would you do this trade? It's interesting. Thank you guys for watching. Cheers.